Hello people, welcome back to Sleepy Classes. In this video, we'll be discussing various issues that affect the security of our nation, and I've developed a keyword for the same. In this particular keyword, we'll be seeing major issues, and of course you can use these issues in your answer, and it's more or less it's like a framework covering all the major issues, and I've elaborated these issues in detail as well. Okay, the keyword is NCC ditch. NCC ditch. I was part of NCC, and we used to save people. Of course, we never saved, but yes, we were made to save people who've fallen in ditches. So NCC ditch. Okay, so let's see what does it mean. N. It stands for NAXALISM. The most important issue affecting our country. Prime Minister, later the erstwhile Prime Minister Manmohan Singh also said that NAXALISM is perhaps the largest security threat to our country. So in this particular thing, you can discuss what are the reasons, its history. You can always read up its history on it, and what are the reasons why it is still prevalent in India. This always happens in my laptop, I'm sorry for that. What are the reasons? Social reasons, the disparity between various groups, rich and poor. Then you can discuss political indifference, economic and developmental issues. I want you to write down these points and discuss these points and frame answers accordingly. I'm just giving you a very broad framework. Then strategies to tackle it. Greyhound forces. These were the forces which were deployed by Andhra Pradesh government police, and these were very well paid forces. So it kind of made people believe that it kind of ensured that with higher pay scales and higher wages, people, rather the police, was motivated to act. So Greyhound forces became a particular case study. They were elite forces and very highly paid, and they wiped out this NAXALISM from Andhra to a great extent, and various other states have tried to replicate it accordingly. Then WAM. It's an acronym which stands for winning hearts and mind. Of course, you just cannot go on applying force, but you need to win hearts, because NAXALISM, you see here that it contains an ism. Ism is a philosophy. That it's a philosophy. You need to tell people that this philosophy of NAXALISM is not good, and that your philosophy of democracy and good governance, it is the right philosophy. You need to win hearts. So it was again a strategy. You should read about it. Then programs like Roshni and the recently started Nai Roshni scheme, BRGF, Backward Region Grant Fund. I'm just giving you hints. You have to go back and Google and accordingly make your notes. Also, I wanted to discuss PESA, that how Panchayati Raj Act and how its extension to scheduled areas, how it has helped NAXALISM to grow rather than curbing it. How it is helping NAXALISM to grow. How PESA is ineffective in tackling NAXALISM. In IAP, Integrated Action Plan, and I wanted to go and read how Manrega, it can be a great tool to wipe out NAXALISM, how it can help development, and how it can help people grow economically, and how it can actually target NAXALISM and weed it out completely. So it's a very broad thing. So okay, moving on. C, next, NCC. C is for communalism. What is communalism? You should know its definition. It is a belief of superiority of one's religion over the other, that my religion is superior over your religion, and that the two cannot coexist. One needs to go. That brings what are the outcomes? Riots, politics which is based on exploiting religious sentiments, threat to national security. Of course, India is a multicultural, multi-religious society, and it becomes a threat, communalism. Then what's the way out? There was this PCTV bill, rather, not an act. It never became an act. Prevention of Communal and Targeted Violence Bill. So you can always quote that there shall be law which holds officers accountable. There was this provision of holding the SP and the DC accountable if the riots happen. So you need to make some people accountable for riots, because state, the one of the essential duties of state is to protect its citizens. So this communal violence bill can be a great start. Then speedier justice related to those cases which deal with communal issues, and most importantly political will to rise above it. We recently saw the 2014 Lok Sabha elections fought on developmental issues and not on the grounds of communalism, that vote for Hindus or vote for Muslims. No, there has to be political will to rise above it. That is the only solution, because it's communalism. It's an outcome of British era, when British people, they used to divide Indians on the basis of Hindus and Muslims. It's an outcome of that. So political will is of the utmost important, and you can, of course, you can add various other points. Next, NCC, very important point: cyber attacks. Cyber attacks, how they affect us? For example, Trojan, they are the viruses or programs or softwares, they which clandestinely or hiddenly or without your knowledge, they enter your system and they keep sending data to the owner of these Trojan horses. This Trojan, of course, is name derived from, you might have seen that particular movie, Brad Pitt, in which it's a historical term, of course. Okay, that apart. The recent example of it, there was this recent issue of US and Iran, in which Iran was enriching its nuclear fuel and US was up against it. One of the US companies which was doing it, one of the companies, not US companies, which was doing the project, what US did was, it installed a Trojan virus by the name of Stuxnet virus in the nuclear plants of Iran. And this Stuxnet, it was a program which was made to destabilize the entire centrifuge system and make the entire project unsustainable, and it was meant to destroy the entire nuclear plant. But of course it was tracked and the tension rather escalated between Iran and US. But US denied that it does not have any hand in it. But of course Trojans are a major issue in cyber attack. Then denial of essential services. Often we see that Pakistan attacking Indian government site and Chinese hackers attacking Indian government site, or these sites. For example, if your banking services, they collapse, very essential services, your military, it depends a lot on satellites. If these services are denied, it can create mayhem in a nation's economy and defense system. Cyber attacks, another issue. Then impact of social media. Social media, you might remember that there was this issue of northeastern people leaving Bangalore, because there was this Facebook message and normal text messages which were circulating, which talked about targeting northeasterners in Bangalore, and it was later found that these messages they originated from Pakistan. So cyber attack can take various forms, and they can attack without really getting into our territory. Identity theft, we often see it in bank accounts, etc. Phishing is when you fill in your information in a site which looks like the site you wanted to go to, but is a fake site. For example, there was this recent very funny scam in which a few Pakistani these hackers, they were operating a site by the name of Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board.com, and they were asking people to donate money and get prasad sitting at home. People were paying their obeisance sitting from home, and they were making millions. Later on, it was found that the site was a fraud. And cyber financing of terrorism, it is one very essential thing. How money is transferred online for terrorism. Bitcoins, that is one of the reasons RBI was wary of allowing bitcoins in India. It never wanted bitcoins in India because of their entire system, which bitcoins are very tough to track. They do not have a centralized system. We do not know who created them, what's their authority, and etc. Terrorists can use it to fund themselves. And also in cyber attacks, I wanted to find out about internet governance debate. Why countries like Brazil, India, Germany, they are against US monopoly over internet, and what's the latest debate going on. These are the issues of tomorrow, and you should know them. And then National Cybersecurity Policy 2013. There are like 5-6 essential points in it. You should know them. Write them down somewhere. And then what is critical infra, and what is CERT, that emergency response team of India. It was devised in USA for the first time. Then CERT has come to India as well. And then what is the debate regarding IT Act Section 66A, how it infringes upon Article 19, freedom of expression and speech. So I wanted to find out these issues as well and make notes. Then NCC ditch. D is for drugs. Important point, drugs as an essential threat to nation security. It is affecting youth the most, and in youth, Punjab. It is the most affected state of the entire country. Why? Because there is widespread unemployment. Because Punjab has had its share of success in Green Revolution, and now people, they have the purchasing power. But the kids and the kids of those farmers, they are unemployed and frustrated accordingly. So they are resorting to drugs. And otherwise, it's also a strategy of our neighbor, the very belligerent neighbor that we have, to destroy a country from within by destroying the youth. What are the ways out? Border management, proper border management. It should be as stringent as possible. Center does that. Center is the responsible force for border management, not the state. Creation of jobs, rehabilitation programs, and social movement. There is one particular very important social movement in Nawa Shahar district, Punjab, in which this particular social movement, the DC was involved in creating awareness, widespread awareness against sex ratio and drugs, the menace of drugs, and it has had very good result. Then ditch. Insurgency. I is for insurgency. What does it mean, insurgency? It is an organized rebellion aimed at overthrowing a constituted government. Most prevalent in northeastern part of India, Nagaland particularly. They did not want to be a part of India, and they want to overthrow the government through the use of subversion and armed conflict. Northeast is the primary target of this. And you can quote here various insurgent groups operating in the region. If you Google insurgent groups in Northeast, you'll get like 1,000 names. And the problem is, it is aggravated by borders with neighboring countries. Why? Because the border is densely forested, it is unfenced, and the neighboring countries are politically turmoiled. Like for example, Myanmar. It does not really have a good government structure, and these various insurgent groups, they find good haven in these countries, Bangladesh. And of course, these particular things along with the countries like Myanmar, Bangladesh, and how these countries are giving patronage to various insurgent groups and how they're getting funded, etc. You can all find on internet. I wanted to discuss why these groups are there still operating. That's it. Next, ditch. DIT. Terrorism. It's a vast topic. Terrorism is different from insurgency. How? Terrorism is calculated use of violence. Insurgency was use of violence to overthrow the government. It is the use of violence against civilians to terrorize them. It is against civilians to terrorize them to attain goals that are political or religious or ideological in nature, and they could be commercial in nature as well. For example, to launder money, to traffic human beings, to traffic drugs. Various terrorist groups are involved in it. They terrorize the civilians, they kill civilians so that they could get monopoly, so that they could influence these people, so that these people, they do not speak up against them to the police or to the state, to the government. So that's why they terrorize people. And done through intimidation or coercion or instilling fear. Okay, and here you can discuss terrorism money laundering nexus. How one feeds the another. How terrorism helps money laundering and how money laundering helps terrorism. Both ways. Also, if you'll Google it, terrorism money laundering nexus, you'll get plenty of articles and you'll get plenty of material to read. Also, in this terrorism, you need to read about NCTC NIA, National Counterterrorism Center, and National Investigative Agency. How these are against federal structure, or will they help strengthening the federal structure, etc. What is the debate going on about them, and what is the present structure, what are they meant for, etc., etc. You need to Google and write these points. That's it about them. Then AFSPA debate. You need to know why AFSPA is still there. What are the reasons of its existence, and the reasons and why AFSPA should not be there. You should know both the pros and the cons of the AFSPA. Then DITCH, counterfeit currency. These are the fake currency notes that we have. The official name is FICN. Official RBI uses the term FICN. It stands for fake Indian currency notes. Fancy term, FICN. And how it affects our economy, how it affects our nation, the security of a nation. Counterfeit currency, it devalues our currency and inflation. How? Because of oversupply. Imagine there were only imagine in a country there are only 100 notes which are original, and another 50, let's say 50 fake currency notes, they come in. There will be oversupply of money, and this oversupply will lead to devaluation of currency, and it will lead to inflation, because there will be more money targeting lesser goods. So it will lead to inflation, and inflation, it will in turn lead to black marketing, hoarding, etc. And more or less in all the countries, these fake currency notes, they are non-reimbursable. Banks, they do not reimburse these notes. For example, if I've earned my salary and I've earned 50,000 rupees, and imagine 25,000 notes, 25,000 is paid in fake currency notes. My entire effort, मेरी पूरी मेहनत waste हो जाएगी उसमें. 25,000 is wasted. It will lead to estrangement. The public's confidence, it will drop in the currency of the country. So loss of public confidence. So that is why counterfeit currency can actually destroy an entire economy, and in turn will destroy the entire country, the integrity of the entire country. It is a serious threat. And last is H is human trafficking. A serious issue. It involves a lot of issues we'll discuss. First, the trafficked human beings, they are carrier of diseases. These are done to serve prostitution, and prostitution in turn degrades women, leads to strengthening of patriarchy. Women becomes object. It leads to objectification of women, degradation of the entire society. That is why women are attacked, etc. One of the reasons, human trafficking. Also add in it child trafficking. Why there is great demand of children in urban cities, where people, they want children for as their domestic help in restaurants, in dhabas, etc. How these children are more vulnerable, how they demand less money, and the debate is more in news because of the recent Nobel which Kailash Satyarthi got for child trafficking, etc. And then also discuss about bonded labor, because there was this recent UN report of 2013 or 14, I've forgotten, which said that maximum number of slaves in the world are still in India. Then government's action, ITPA Act, ITPA, Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act, and there are like 4 or 5 other acts. You can always Google them and add up in your notes. And okay, before we end, in the security thing, you should also discuss about impact of money laundering. You should know, because the recent black money cases, they were in news, and they make money laundering as an important concept. You should know them. Black money. The need for police reforms. Good policing can actually transform the entire security threat of the country. So do know about what are the police reforms, various committees, Prakash Singh committee, etc., Prakash Singh case, etc., and note down in your notebooks. Then need of good governance. How good governance can in fact tackle all the security concerns of the country. Good governance. And then last is maritime threats. Maritime threats, they include piracy, infiltration we saw in Bombay 26/11. Then marine resources. The marine resources also one of the threats faced by India, because of the increasing hegemony of China on various marine resources, routes. Most of our energy flows through sea, and if these routes and resources are threatened by other countries, our economy will be crippled and security would be compromised accordingly. So you should discuss about maritime threats as well, and various security agencies protecting these resources, and various security agencies protecting our seas, etc. That's it. And this will make your security and the entire the related syllabus become good, and notes accordingly you can bolster them with your daily news. I'll keep adding more stuff, and till then, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.